All right, I think we're live. I just got a whole new internet thing set up, like a whole new service. Well, I don't know about a whole new service, but it's this whole new thing. So theoretically, there shouldn't be any problems going on here with this stream. Theoretically, but you know, things can always happen. I guess it's not just about the Wi-Fi; it's also about your PC and how powerful it is. Which I think I have a powerful PC, but at the same time, I have a lot of issues with it. But what's up, everyone? So I decided to stream today because, well, I haven't done a Q&A in a while, and had not even a stream in general because I just haven't had the reason to, just haven't had the time, whatever it may be. I just didn't do it. But I like doing these a lot, so I was like, fuck it, let's do one. Let's do one. And like I said, as they always are, it's literally anything's on the table. We can talk about anything. It does not have to be anything specific. But I will say I'm going to avoid going into spoilers for any of the things I'm currently watching. That would include Game of Thrones, The Punisher, any of that stuff. I'll talk about it, but I'm not going to talk about specifics because I want to make sure these streams are open to everyone, even people who haven't watched those shows. But for Game of Thrones fans, I will say I am planning on doing a big spoiler live stream after I finish the series, which will probably be towards the end of August. So expect that stream next month at the end of the month. I'll do a big spoiler live stream. We'll do it like for freaking 4 3 hours. I don't know. It'll be a long stream, and we'll just talk about the whole series all the way through. I'll give my in-depth thoughts on every single season, most of the characters. It'll be a fun stream. So if you want more, spoiler talks type stuff, I'm gonna do that next month. But for now, I'll talk about Game of Thrones a little bit if anyone has any questions, but I'm not going to go into spoilers. I'm not going to be talking specifics about, any character deaths or anything like that. So, because like I said, I can speak from experience. I've watched streams before, and they'll start talking about like a movie I haven't seen before, and they'll start talking about spoilers, and I'm like, bro, I wasn't expecting to get spoiled on these things. Even if it's an old movie, I don't care. Like I'm very big on that, but sometimes it's kind of unavoidable. I understand there are certain things that if you bring up, it's just like it just has to be. It just comes up. Like there's tons of big movies that like I feel like we gotten to a point where like no one really cares to not spoil anymore because you've assumed most people have seen it. I think Endgame and Infinity War are good examples. Like I feel like I don't really mind spoiling those because it's like what are the chances you haven't seen that? But I still try my best not to. It's impossible to be 100% for it. So all right, let's start going through. Like I said, no chance I'm going to reply to every single question and comment, but I will try to do as many as possible. But obviously, we would be here for 3 years if I tried to do every single little thing. So, uh, Coven of Hags. I love your reactions, particularly Game of Thrones. What are your thoughts on Melisandre as a character? Interesting. I enjoyed her character pretty much the whole time. I think I explained that a couple times in the show. Like, I think my interest in her was less about her as a character and more about the abilities she has. That's what interested me more than anything. Pretty much anything revolving the Lord of Light I thought was really interesting. But the character itself, I never felt like I was that connected to. Obviously, she's a very, she's cold. She's not like she doesn't have much sympathy. Not really for people. But I just everything she does is just it's I don't know. It's interesting stuff. That's probably the most thoughts I can give on it without spoiling specifics. Did you watch No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence? No, but I probably will in the future. That's the thing. There's some movies that I just like. If I have the ability to see it in theaters, I sure, but like I'm not gonna rush to see that in theaters. Like I'm fine with waiting till that comes out online. There's no like I don't have to see that in theaters. Obviously, there's other movies, you know, like Mission Impossible 7 where I felt like I had to see that in theaters, but No Hard Feelings, I could easily wait for that. Like that. Sup, Mike? How you doing? How you doing, Mike? Very happy to be here finally. I missed being here because I moved to Europe, but this hour is perfect for me. Yeah, that's what I was actually thinking. That's actually one of the reasons I made this stream at 5:30. Well, for me it's 5:30, but I usually do these a lot later, but I was like, I know I have a lot of viewers who are in Europe, so I think it'd be better if I did it around this time so they, it won't be the middle of the night for them basically. So, I can't promise I'll always do streams around this time. It's just it happened to work out today, so that's what I did. Do you think Dead City has been better than any of the Walking Dead seasons? Oh, I love that question. So, I'm gonna do a ranking of every single Walking Dead universe season, which I've already done many of those. I'm gonna do that again though, but not in a tier list. It's going to be just like going through each individual season of all the spin-offs after the Rick and Michonne spin-off. So whenever that comes out, I'll do it after that. But for Dead City itself, so far, obviously there's one more episode left. I think it's better than a couple Walking Dead seasons. I don't think it's better than most of them though. I'd probably put it on par with like season 11 of The Walking Dead. So I rated season 11, what did I rate that? Like a number 7 spot or something? I forget where I put that in my ranking, but I would say it's probably like below that, maybe like right below that. So yeah, it's better than a couple seasons from The Walking Dead, basically. But I don't know. It's also short, so it's hard to compare it against these long seasons. But I do think there's been a lot of great things about that show. It's obviously not better than like the peak Walking Dead seasons, though. It's not going to be better than that. How was Mission Impossible series? It was cool. Oh yeah, I loved watching the Mission Impossible movies. Especially the last couple ones. Some of the best movies I've ever seen, to be honest. Fallout, especially. I think Fallout is like, it's in my top like 30 movies now. So I think, Dead Reckoning was great, but I just didn't think it was nearly as good as Fallout. Thank you, Low High. Appreciate that. I mean, I don't know. Right now, the hair is kind of messy, but I appreciate people like how it looks. Are you interested in watching animated shows, Arcane, for example? Yeah, I'm totally not opposed to watching animated shows. It really depends on what you guys vote for, really, because the plan is, I mentioned this before, but the plan for the next show I do after Game of Thrones, well, after Game of Thrones and after House of the Dragon, obviously I have to watch that first, but that's only one season anyways. But the plan is after that, I'm gonna do a giant poll on my Patreon. I'm talking giant as I can be, because Patreon does have a limit. There's like, I think you could do maybe like 35 options or something for a poll, something like that. So I'm gonna put 35 shows on there, and whichever 5 shows get the most votes, I'm then going to take those 5 shows and put them on a YouTube poll. And the YouTube poll, you all can vote for it, regardless of if you're on my Patreon or not, right? And then whichever one wins that YouTube poll is the one that I'm going to watch. And I have no idea what show it's going to be, but there's a lot of options. I will say I've seen most of the more popular shows out there. I really wish I haven't, though, because it would have been great to do a Breaking Bad reaction series, for example, but I've already seen that, so I can't do that. But there's a lot of shows on there. Just some examples: American Horror Stories on there, Dexter, Invincible. I think I might have put Arcane on there. I'm not sure, but like that's a shorter show, right? That like just recently came out, so I'm mainly looking for like longer shows. Oh, the 100 on there as well. The 100, which I was told was actually called the 100 before. I was calling it the 100, but apparently it's just actually pronounced the 100. What else is on there? I think Supernatural's on there. There's a lot of shows on there. There's a lot of shows. It's just something we can do after Game of Thrones and after House of the Dragon. Of course, I still have to finish, The Punisher as well. And then there's any new shows coming out. Basically, what I want to do is I want to make sure I do no more than 2 old shows at a time. That's my limit. That I'm not doing more than 2 old shows. Sometimes I might even just want to do 1, right? Because there's always a bunch of new shows coming out as well. Right now we're doing 4 shows, but that's because 2 of them are new shows that are currently airing. And obviously once those end, then Ahsoka comes out next month, so that's another show to do. I think Chucky season 3 comes out this fall, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. I think it's supposed to, but I mean, the whole writer strike and stuff, I don't know. Maybe stuff got pushed back. I have no idea. What other shows are coming out this fall? I think Loki season 2, The Walking Dead, the Daryl Dixon show comes out in September. This is a lot of shows. So for old shows, I'm gonna try to do only maybe 1 after Game of Thrones and The Punisher, but we'll see. I might add a second one. If I add a second one, it'll probably be like a shorter show or something. We'll see. But yeah, animated shows, not opposed to it at all. If people vote for it, I'll watch it for sure. I don't think I've done any animated shows or movies actually so far on my channel. I did one for a Patreon request, but I didn't bring it to YouTube because it wasn't that popular of a movie. But that's the only thing I ever did. I forget what movie it was. It was like, I think it was called like something Harlock the Space Pirate or something. I don't know. It was a movie I watched. It was a while ago. Any plans to finish Better Call Saul on the channel? I've debated that so many times, but I can't see that being a good option. And the reason why I say that is because I've seen people do that before. It just never goes well. I'm sure it can for some people, but starting a series when you're already like really far into it, and for my case, season 5, I'm on season 5 of that show. I have 2 more seasons to watch for it, right? Starting at season 5 when it's not currently airing, like it's already the show's done, right? There's no more episodes. It's a recipe for disaster. Like I'd probably get, I'm not even exaggerating, I'd probably get like 400 views per video or something. Like I wouldn't expect to get that much, and I just don't see that being worth it for me. But at the same time, I don't know. I really wouldn't know unless I tried it. I don't know. I just don't think it'd be a good option. If I started it back when that season was releasing, then it would be different. But I haven't, so I don't know. And I don't mind having shows to watch on my own. Like I love that actually. Like I enjoy that I can watch, shows like that on my own. But I don't know. If I reacted to everything I watched, I would never get anything done because it would take so long. Thoughts on the new Maggie and Negan show making zero noise on social media? Well, that's the thing. I follow a lot of Walking Dead accounts, so personally, I see it making a lot of noise on social media. But in total, yeah, it definitely is not that popular. I expected that. I mean, The Walking Dead hasn't been very popular in since like 2016. It's not been popular in a while, so I didn't expect it to make that much noise. I think the Rick and Michonne series will make a lot more noise, but at the same time, I don't think it's gonna blow up or anything. I think there's a lot of like if I was in charge of The Walking Dead, I've said this so many times. This is what I would do. First of all, I wouldn't have done these spinoffs in the first place, but I would have taken these spinoffs, I would have combined them into a crossover event film to end everything, and it'll be a giant finale for the whole franchise. Like I'm talking, it would finish up, the main characters in these spinoffs. It would finish. They would reunite as well with like Judith and such. You'd reunite with everyone. You would have the Fear the Walking Dead characters join in. You'd have a bunch of different characters, and they would just shove them together and have a finale event film that would just end everything, be a giant war against CRM, something like that. And then you would start fresh. I'm talking completely fresh. Just end everything. Don't ever touch those characters again and start fresh with a Clementine series. The entire Telltale storyline adapted into an 8-season television series just solely focused on Clementine and Lee and those other characters in the Telltale games, and that's it. I would freaking love that, and it would be you'd have the best writing team you can possibly find that really cares about these characters and wants to write a solid story that has a completed vision that will carry over throughout all those seasons. They have the full plan laid out, and then they do that. That's The Walking Dead, what they should do going forward. And I think you'd bring back so many fans. You also bring in new people because a lot of people love the game. People love Clementine and her story, but they don't care for the show. If you brought her into the show, they would love it. I'm telling you, it would be the best thing they can do. Are you gonna watch Once Upon a? Ooh, whoops. Um, are you gonna watch? Where was that question? I think the person said, oh, right here. GFE Hostman, are you gonna watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? It's on my list. It's definitely on my watch list, but I don't know. It really just depends because a lot of what I watch, it depends on, first of all, polls. It also depends on what's currently popular. Like, let's say Tarantino has a new movie coming out, which I think he does in a couple of years, right? He's working on something right now. If he has a new movie coming out, I think it'd be a better time to watch one of his older movies. But also, if it, like I said, if it won the polls, I'd watch it definitely. Or if it I guess that's really the only reason why I would do it. Or if someone does a Patreon request for it as well, because people request stuff. Okay, I just want to make sure my audio was good because I usually ask chat, but honestly, like I have such a different like mentality of what I like for audio, so I need to check to make sure it just calms me down. What do you rank Game of Thrones so far? Like, do you mean like rank it in terms of like my series, like my favorite shows? It's definitely my top 3. It's easily top 3 shows. I don't know if it's number 2 or 3 or I don't know. The Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones are my top 3 for sure. I don't know the order of them. It kind of just depends how I'm feeling, really. What's your favorite Game of Thrones episode? Battle of the Bastards. Currently, if you're talking about what I'd rate Game of Thrones out of 10 so far, probably like a 9.9. It's close to a 10. You're literally only taking point 0.1 off for like a couple of moments that I didn't love, but like it's pretty much almost a perfect show for me. For me, I know a lot of people disagree. That's just how I feel. What would you give season 6 out of 10? Of Game of Thrones? Yeah, I'd probably say a 9 something, 9.5 maybe out of 10. Something like that. Tell us your plans for the future post graduation. Congrats again, by the way. Thank you. Um, a lot of so the thing about the plans is that like I have like a million different plans. That's the problem. I kind of wish I was the type of person who only had one plan, but I don't. I have like a million plans and I can't do all of them, so I have to choose. But like right now, what I'm doing is so I'm working on YouTube. Obviously, that's if you guys been seeing pretty decent amount of posts being posted to any of my channels. I have 3 channels. I don't really do much on the other ones as often, but sometimes I do. But this one's the one I mainly focused on, and working on that. But while I'm also working on that, I'm also currently applying for a bunch of different jobs, and I have not found a good fit yet for me. But I also am debating on going to graduate school. So there's so many different choices, and I can't like. It really just depends on like if I can find a good job, then I might not go to graduate school. Or if I don't find a good job, I might go to graduate school. Or if YouTube blows up, then I might stay with that. Like, it really just depends. That's the thing. It's such a hard question to answer, but I have a lot of plans basically. Do you think Game of Thrones has too much nudity? Because Emilia Clarke said she was pressured to do nude scenes sometimes. I think my opinion on nudity in shows, I think, might be kind of unpopular. Like, I think it's mostly like I think it depends. There's certain scenes where I can see the usefulness of it, but a lot of the time I prefer not seeing it. I don't mind it though. I'm not gonna be like, oh, this show sucks because they show nudity. It's just more like I just don't really need to see. Like, I don't really care. But there's a lot of times, especially in Game of Thrones, where I do think it fits the scene and it actually makes sense why they would be showing it. But at the same time, like you could do those scenes without even showing nudity. Like you could. It just makes it feel more organic, I guess, which is why it works well in the show, you know? But I think I don't know. I don't really have a big opinion on it. I just think like on one hand, a lot of times it makes sense why it would be in the script. Other times it's like, okay, you probably didn't need to show that there. There was one scene in particular, I forget where it was, but it was in, I forget what season. It might have been season 1. You guys know, you guys might know what I'm talking about. Littlefinger, and he's just sitting there, and those 2 girls are just like, it's straight up like, it's straight up porn at that point. Like it basically was. I'm just like, okay, I don't know if we need to see this. But yeah, I don't think anyone should be pressured to doing that though. So I feel like that's something that like like I said, it depends on the scene. It depends on the scene. Tyrion or Daryl? In terms of who's the better character, I would say Tyrion. But if you're talking about who would kick the other person's ass, then I mean Daryl would. But if you're talking about just better character, definitely Tyrion. Even though I think Daryl's great, I prefer Tyrion. Have you seen the film Polar? Nope. Hey, have you watched From Dusk Till Dawn? You know, funny you say that because one of my patrons, I don't know how you say it, just requested that exact movie for this month. So I haven't watched it yet, but I'm gonna watch it in the next 2 weeks because it's for this month. So if I like it a lot, it'll come to YouTube most likely. That's usually how I do it. Like when I do my Patreon requests, they only come to YouTube if either A, the movie's popular, or B, I really liked it. Or not even I really liked it, but more so did it make for a good reaction? You know what I mean? Like I could really like a movie, but then be like, would that be that good of a reaction video? I don't know. So I probably wouldn't. Like I actually just watched one today that was a Patreon request called Polytechnique. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's about a school shooting, and I don't think I would bring that to YouTube for a couple of reasons. It's a pretty quick film. I don't think it's like crazy popular, but I also don't think YouTube would be happy with it because it's obviously very sensitive material. So I just don't know if I'd even be able to bring that to YouTube. So there's just some choices I make based on those Patreon requests. Sometimes they don't, like if you see, like I post in the community tab, sometimes I post like, oh, there's a full uncut reaction of this movie. And then sometimes it never comes to YouTube. And I've had comments about that, like, where's this movie? That might just mean it's a Patreon request that I didn't bring over to YouTube. I can't do all of them. If I brought over all of them, I would never have time for anything else. You know what I mean? Like it's just a lot of movies that I'm doing. That's just the way it is. I if it's a popular movie and I know a lot of people want to see it, I will always bring it over. But a lot of the time, it just doesn't happen. Daenerys or Maggie? I would probably say Maggie. That's pretty close though. They're kind of like neck and neck. Is it just me or is Dead City kind of mid? I don't think it's mid. I think my issue with it, it's kind of what I expected it to be. That's the thing. And I think that's a bad thing for me personally because I wanted to be surprised. I wanted to be shocked. I wanted to be like, wow, this is freaking phenomenal. But I don't think I feel that way. I just kind of feel like it's exactly what I expected. It's good. I like it, but it's not blowing my mind. You know what I mean? Which is why I'd probably give it like an 8 out of 10, maybe something like that. Like I think it's good so far. I'm enjoying it. I don't know, it's not blowing me away. What was blowing me away was some of the really cool like New York shots that they were doing. I thought a lot of that stuff was pretty, but the story itself, it's just kind of run of the mill stuff. I don't know. It's not like it's entertaining as hell. It's The Walking Dead. I love it, but it's not like blowing me away, you know? What are your thoughts on the writers and actors strike in Hollywood? I knew someone was going to ask that. I knew it. I don't really have that many thoughts, to be honest, because like I just I don't know much about it, first of all. And what I do know, I think my opinion is probably pretty generic. It's just, well, yeah, they, you know, I hope they get paid what they want. You know, that's pretty much my opinion. I don't really have much to say beyond that. I just don't know enough to like really go in depth with it because, like I said, just don't know much. The one thing that I was concerned about though was, so I don't know how valid this is. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know. But I saw some posts saying that if you plan on joining any of those unions in the future, you can't post like certain reviews or like sponsored content on like new or TV show releases that are within the shows that are being striked against right now. And that just kind of shocked me because it's like, what the hell do influencers have to do with this? You know what I mean? Like, I understand current writers and actors, like, yeah, if they want to, you know, be a part of the unions, then they can't be, you know, working for these companies and helping them. That makes sense. But like, I'm literally just like, you're telling me, like, if I make a video on Oppenheimer, are you telling me I can't join it in the future? It's just, I don't know, it's weird to me. I don't know. Again, I don't know the validity behind that. A lot of people are saying that right now. I kind of don't believe it. I kind of think that would be a really stupid thing for the unions to do. Because, like I said, I don't have anything to do with it. Me making a video on Oppenheimer, that shouldn't affect them. Like, it really shouldn't. So, I don't know. That's just the way I see it. But, oh, what's up, Ghost Plasma? Of course I remember you. I used to love, like, we used to talk about those Walking Dead thing. I used to love doing those videos. I kind of miss it, to be honest, but it's just I think I explained it to you before. Like I just stopped doing it because I didn't really have the time for it. There weren't really enough people interested. There was a decent amount interested, but it wasn't enough for me to keep wanting to do it. And I also got to be honest, like there was a certain point where I started fumbling with it, and I was like, I started not liking what I did with the earlier seasons of it. If no one knows what I'm talking about, by the way, because I'm basically having a conversation with him right now. So what I used to do, and I used to post it on this channel. I think they're all unlisted now. You might be able to find like a playlist of it, but I unlisted all of them. But it's like I used to write my own adaptation of the Walking Dead Telltale games into its own series form and make videos on my thoughts, like my ideas. Basically, it was basically just pitches. Like I was pitching a show basically, and I basically wrote through it. I didn't write like a script, but I just wrote like events of what happens and what I would want this show to be like and look like. And I did 4 seasons worth of it, and I really liked it. But then I started to feel like, I'm not really liking what I'm doing anymore. And so I started to like go back and rewrite things. And I'm like, okay, well now it messes up all the videos I did. So then I just stopped doing it. I'm like, I'm not many people are watching it. I'm not really happy with some of the stuff, so I just kind of stopped doing it. I still kind of want to do it for fun, to be honest, because it was really fun. But just letting you know, like I had 8 seasons worth. I did have a lot of ideas for the later seasons, and I thought they were really freaking interesting. If anybody from AMC is watching, hit me up. I'll give you all the ideas. We'll make $1 billion show. Trust me, we'll make $1 billion show. Trust me. Jon Snow or Glenn? Jon Snow. Have you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender? No. So that is one that's on my Patreon polls for the shows that's going to be on it. So haven't seen it, but I'd like to. If you watch Scorsese films, start with Taxi Driver or Raging Bull, both of which are on my list. I've only seen Shutter Island. That's the only Scorsese film I've seen. Let me lower this a little bit. Is that better? I don't know. You should put Cobra Kai on the poll. Was it on the poll? I actually don't remember if I put it on the poll or not, but I should put it on a poll if I haven't. I definitely should. Who do you think is more famous, Margot Robbie or... That's a tough one. I'd probably say Margot Robbie. just because of her involvement with like Harley Quinn. Yeah, I think her Harley Quinn role really did make her like I'm talking like mainstream, like the average person would know. I feel like Cillian Murphy, like I think Cillian Murphy's a better actor, but at the same time, like I think Margot Robbie's just more popular. Jamie Lannister or Negan? I'll go with Negan. I keep saying you keep doing these. Arya or Carl? Oh, that's the easiest one. I never liked Carl. Arya, without a doubt, in a heartbeat. Without a heartbeat. I never. Okay, I don't hate Carl. I think he was fine in the early seasons, but there was a certain point where his character just was not as interesting to me anymore, and I just didn't really. I don't know. Prison Break. That might have been on the list. Succession. I think Succession was on there. I think. Have you seen The Boys? Yes, I did reactions to all 3 seasons, so those are on the channel. I think I did that like a year ago at this point. And I do intend on doing season 4 when that releases, so. Have you seen Superman and Lois TV show yet? Nope, that's on my list too. Cersei or Carol? Cersei, maybe. In terms of the more interesting the character, obviously, because Carol's obviously a better person. Favorite sitcom growing up? Ooh, that is obviously Friends. I didn't even have to think about that one. That one's like the easiest question of my life. Or now. Oh, you meant growing up or now? It would be Friends regardless, like either question. And favorite cartoon? Oof. I want to say Star Wars: The Clone Wars, probably. I haven't even finished it, but I feel like it's already my favorite cartoon. Either that or Family Guy or something. Or, yeah, I mean, SpongeBob is the obvious one. I used to love the SpongeBob, but have you seen Sound of Freedom? Nope. I did hear about it though. I hear there's a lot of controversy going on about it. I don't like know exactly what the controversy is. I just know there's controversy. That's all I know. There's people complaining and yelling and screaming at each other on Twitter like they always do. And half the time I try not to take much notice because it's just a bunch of people screaming at each other through their phones, and it's just, I don't know, I have better things to do with my time. Which is kind of hypocritical because I've spent many times shouting at people over Twitter about stupid stuff like defending The Walking Dead season 8 or some shit. I used to always do stuff like that. Chucky might get delayed this year? Probably. Ahsoka's gonna be a generic mess? I hope not. I really hope not. I mean, the trailers all look really good. Like they only had 2 trailers. They both looked amazing. So I'm gonna hope not, but I mean, it's totally possible it will suck. I don't know. Season 3 is added by next Friday. Season 3 of what? Oh, Superman and Lois. I had to look up at your other comments. Rick Grimes or Hot Pie? I don't know. I might have to go with Hot Pie, not gonna lie. Would you ever think of watching any old British or Irish comedy TV shows? I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but I probably wouldn't like. That wouldn't be my first like thought of what to watch, you know? But I'm not against it. When will you start watching Umbrella Academy? Is that on my list? It might have been. I honestly don't remember. If one of your subscribers recognized you on the street, would you be okay if we went in to say hello to you in person, or would you be weirded out and prefer to be left alone? I think that depends on the situation. I think most of the time, like if I'm in public, I think that's totally fine to say hi. It's never happened to me before. Never once happened to me before. But I'm just saying, if someone did, yeah, it's totally fine to say hi. But if I'm like either in like a private place or like I don't know, on a date or something, like I don't know, like it depends what I'm doing, really. You know, it depends the situation. But most of the time, I'm gonna be fine with it. I'm never gonna yell at someone. I'm never gonna be like, why are you talking to me? Like I'm never gonna do that. Trust me, I'm gonna be chill with it all the time. But again, like there has to be a limit. Like if someone starts following me, I might have to call the police. But you know, just saying hi is not a problem. It's actually happened to me before. I went to it's actually so funny. So I'm not gonna say who it is, but I was at the theater seeing Mission Impossible 7, and I saw a guy. I don't know him, but I watch. I don't want to say I watch. I just every now and then I see his TikToks, and he does movie reviews on TikToks, and he's got a decent amount of like I think it's like 50 or 500K something, a decent amount of viewers. And I saw him there. I knew it was him. I was like, I definitely recognize that guy, but I just didn't want to say hi. Like I'm just not the type of person to say hi. Like it's not that like I'm just like I don't care. It's more like I don't know. Like I don't want this person to feel weirded out. So I just didn't say anything. I was like, whatever. I'm not obsessed with this guy. I don't need to say hi to him. But if anyone wanted to, if you saw me, I'm totally fine with that. I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just personally for me when I saw someone, I was like, I just didn't want to say hi. You should react to Studio Ghibli, at least Spirited Away. Probably. I will say Christian Bale does voice a character. Oh, really? I wouldn't expect that. I stopped reading your comment because I felt when I saw Christian Bale in the next sentence, I did not expect it to have anything to do with Studio Ghibli. So I just like stopped reading it and said something about the first sentence because I thought it was going to be a completely different sentence. But okay. I might do that. Yeah, I've heard about those movies and that would be fun. Sansa or Beth? Sansa. Sir Davos or Herschel? I'd go with Herschel. Ghost or Dog? Gotta go with Ghost. For Better Call Saul, the final 2 seasons have many reaction-worthy moments. I feel like it would do just as good, if not better, than the Marvel shows. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll do like a poll, seeing if people want to see that. Because like it's not even like if I started the show with season 1, it would probably do really well. It would. The problem is starting at that point. I don't know. So you care about the views over what the subs want. Typical YouTube reaction channel or typical YouTuber reaction channels are already some of the laziest content out there. All right, I'm gonna reply to that. I usually don't reply to hate, but I kind of like doing it sometimes. Yes, the reason why I have to care about the amount of views. You kind of okay. Hold on. You contradicted yourself here because you said so you care about the views over what the subs want. But that contradicts itself because assuming the video has more views, that assumes that that's what more people want. If a video gets 10,000 views, that means a lot of people wanted that video and they watched it, right? If it gets 100 views, not a lot of people wanted it. So I actually do care about what the subs want. That's exactly why I prefer to do things that get more views. But I also, yes, I'm not going to lie to you, I care about the views just from the views point. And any YouTuber who says he doesn't care or she, they're lying to you. They're lying. Like it takes a lot of work to do this stuff. And we would not be sitting here spending a lot of our time if we weren't getting decent views. It's just we wouldn't do it, right? Now, I would still do it regardless. I just wouldn't do it as much. I would have another job. I would be doing other stuff outside of this to make money if I didn't care, right? And I would come back and do videos just for the fun of it. I wouldn't really care too much. I wouldn't really care about the editing. I would just kind of do it for fun, and it would just be whatever. The content might be good, it might be bad. I don't know. But if I didn't care about the views, I wouldn't be doing it that much. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing. And if I do videos like almost every day at this point, I have to care. Like I just physically have to. Because if I'm sitting here spending 8 hours a day on something that gets nothing, it's like it's not even just the money. It just hurts like physically, like emotionally. Like to put so much effort into something and to not have much payoff, it does hurt. Trust me, it does. So it's about what the subs want, and it's also about the views. They're the same thing, really. They're the same thing. And to your point about reaction channels being some of the laziest content, I'm gonna be honest, I don't disagree with you. Like I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm like, it's not lazy though. I think that's the bad word for it. I think unoriginal is a better word for it. And no offense to people who are reactors, I'm literally calling out myself here. We can't lie. Like it is very like I don't have to be that creative. I can just kind of like, okay, I want to watch this movie. Let me react to it. Yes, of course. But it's not lazy. Lazy is a bad word for it because we still have to edit the thing, right? Editing takes a while. Like you'd be surprised how long it takes to edit a movie reaction or a TV show. It takes longer than most other videos take to edit, at least for me personally. If I do a movie review or a movie ranking, those are a lot quicker to edit. I can do that in like 2 hours maybe. A reaction though, I have to watch the thing, which takes an hour to 2 hours, and then the editing takes anywhere from 4 to 5 hours. Depends on the video. usually about 4 to 5 hours. And then there's a bunch of copyright issues that come with it. I have to render the video twice because I do the full uncuts for Patreon. It's a lot of shit right there, trust me. And you can call it lazy all you want, but I don't think it is personally. I will say though, like, yeah, it is less original than other types of content, but I don't think that's a problem. I don't think YouTube isn't a competition of who could do the most original thing possible. To some people it is, and that's fine. I don't mind that, sure, but at the same time, like, there's nothing wrong with doing what other people do. There's nothing wrong with it. And that's what most people do. You get a job somewhere, some company, guess what? Tons of people have already gotten the same job that you got. They're doing the same thing as you. Like, you know what I mean? That's the way I see it. But I will say, from a creative perspective, like, I do think that I want to jump into more content that is more creative. I've always wanted to do more stuff like that, and I have before. It's just these videos do better, and they're just what people want more. We're going back to the thing about what the subs want. If they want that, I'm gonna do it. So, all right. I usually don't spend that much time on a comment like that, but I had to do it. I had to. my philosophy is usually not to focus on them because sometimes people want attention with hate comments, but whatever. Thank you, Alex. About the hair question, not a question, but I need, or it's not a question, but but I need to say how much I appreciate your hair. I appreciate it because I'm always self-conscious about it, but I appreciate it. What will you focus on this October in your reactions? I want to do more horror films because last October I really didn't get to do many horror movies, I don't think. I'm trying to think. How many did I do last October? I did Don't Breathe. I didn't do that many. I think I did Terrifier 2, man. I did that in November. I don't know. I didn't do a lot, basically. Oh, I did Invisible Man. I did that as well. And The Descent. But I want to do more. I'm definitely planning on doing more horror movies. I don't know which ones though, because I've seen most of them. You know what I mean? Like, that's the problem. But let me look real quick. I'm gonna look at my watch list. I'm gonna sort it by genre, and I'm gonna find which horror movies I haven't seen and which ones I could do. Actually, I'll sort it by most popular even as well. Probably by popularity, yeah. So we got Rosemary's Baby. That's an old one. That's from '68. That's definitely one I could do. Shaun of the Dead. Suspiria, Dawn of the Dead, Train to Busan. REC. I don't know. I've never seen that. You're Next as well. That's a pretty popular one I've heard of. Yeah, I have a couple I could definitely do. Tremors. Mother. I didn't know that was a horror movie, but I want to watch Mother. Split. I still haven't done Split, so I guess I have to do that soon. That's a horror movie as well. Yeah. Doctor Sleep, maybe. Doctor Sleep Psycho 2. I could do some of those. I've seen the first ones, but I haven't seen those ones. Sleepaway Camp. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff here I can do. The Hills Have Eyes, Silent Hill. Yeah, The Crazies. I don't know. A lot of movies I haven't seen. So that'd be fun. Ugh. Whose hair is better, yours or Steve's? Oh, it's gotta be Steve's. You kidding me? Brandon Stark or Judith Grimes? Judith. Definitely Judith. What is your dream comic book game? Does The Walking Dead count? Because that's technically a comic book show. Or just you want me to talk about like superhero stuff? Because when people say comic book stuff, like comic book movie, comic book show, they're usually referring to superheroes. But like technically, there's a lot of other stuff that would also be under that thing. Because obviously, I'm gonna say a Walking Dead open world survival game. I've been saying they need to do that for years. But if we're talking superheroes, I would like to see. Well, they're already doing the Wolverine games, so there's already something that I want to play. I feel like what would be really cool is they don't have a Superman game, right? There's not a solid Superman game out there. Maybe I'll say that then. I feel like Superman, like some people have said that it just would be too hard to make a game out of that because of how powerful he is, but I don't really agree. Like I feel like you could still do a game with someone as powerful as Superman. Just make sure he's going against some really powerful villains, you know? Did you watch Bird Box Barcelona? No, if I do watch it, I'm gonna watch it on my own. I heard it's getting really bad reviews, so I don't. I probably will just watch it on my own, but we'll see. Would you ever watch Attack on Titan? Yes, that is on my watch list, and it's gonna be on the polls. The only issue with Attack on Titan and pretty much any anime is apparently copyright for anime company from copyright issues are very high for anime. Like I've heard from other creators that it's very hard for them to get their anime videos to go through, right? Like it's very difficult based on um what do you call it? Just they just get a lot of copyright issues. So that's the only issue. You look like a yassified Germa. Dude, everyone says I look like fucking Germa. Like I just want to know who Germa is. I don't really see it, but I mean I'm not I guess I kinda do. It's this fucking guy. This dude. Everyone says I look like him. I mean, sure, maybe, but fucking uh, Catelyn Stark or Michonne? Probably Michonne. Did you like season 7 of Game of Thrones? Yes, I did. A lot of people I could see are already not liking the season. Like they've told me quite a bit that they don't like it, but I did like it a lot. And I finished it by the way. So if anyone's wondering how far I am on Patreon, I just watched the first episode of season 8. So I only got 5 episodes left. I'm almost done. I know on YouTube you're a bit further behind, but new episode tomorrow by the way. I'm going to upload a new video on Game of Thrones tomorrow. So anyone wondering where episode 4 is, that's tomorrow. American Mom featured you in a YouTube video referral a couple weeks ago. Do you notice an increase in views from that? I mean, it's hard to tell based on just like that because YouTube views fluctuate a lot. Like it's every day, it's like a bunch of different things. So it really depends. But I did see that. It was very nice of her to do that. She's been a great mod, by the way. Like I'm sure you guys have probably seen her in the comments on most Game of Thrones videos because she offered to do that because I needed mods. I need people to help out. I've got a couple mods, but it's definitely needed because they have told me, by the way, like my mods have told me that there's a lot of people that put spoilers for Game of Thrones. So thankfully, I didn't see like any. So that's a good thing. Actually, I didn't see a single one. The only thing I ever saw was like not a spoiler, but it was someone talking about like they were saying something big happening at a certain season, but that wasn't really a spoiler. It was just kind of like something. I just don't want to know that kind of stuff, but it wasn't really a spoiler, so I was like, whatever. But I was able to avoid any specifics basically. Do you plan on watching Star Wars Rebels before Ahsoka releases? Yes. Yo, what's up, Matt? How you doing? So I have started actually. I'm not doing it for the channel though because I physically would not be able to finish it in time, and I'm already like through. I think I'm on season like 3 or something. I just started season 3, something like that. I don't know. But basically halfway through Rebels. So I did want to watch it before Ahsoka, so I understood more what was going on, and I just couldn't do it for the channel because there's a couple reasons. First of all, like I said, I just don't have the time for that. Like that would be a big commitment to watch a whole series like that, and I would not get it done in time before Ahsoka. Also, the views, I don't know how if they would be there. Don't know. I haven't. Most of my Star Wars content doesn't do great, anyways. So a whole series for it would be a bit much. And 3, probably the bigger thing. I already know a lot of what happens in the show for the Clone Wars and Rebels. Like there's still stuff I haven't gotten to yet that I know what happens. There's a lot of big spoilers. I already know what they happen. So a big part of reactions is the excitement of these persons figuring out these things in later seasons. But if like I've already know what's going to happen, it's not really going to be an impactful reaction in my opinion. So I just didn't want to do it. Banshee? Oh, that show is on my watch list definitely. Rickon or Sophia, they're probably equally as they're just there really. They don't really do much. But I probably said Sophia. Yeah, I'm really far behind because people are talking about here. I was talking about like freaking 40 minutes ago, probably. Um, I'll try to go a little faster. I like reading stuff. I like spending time on it. So, do you watch comic book movies? Oh, of course. I've seen like probably the majority of them, to be honest, at this point. How far did you get into Game of Thrones? Well, I just answered that, so hopefully you were listening when I said that. I know this was before I said that, obviously, but like I'm just saying, hopefully you were still in the chat to hear it. But I just watched season 8, episode 1. Yeah, so people talking about season 7 of Game of Thrones. Yeah, I understand why people hated it. Like, I do think it's very different. It was very fast paced. They kind of shot through it pretty quickly, and there's a couple things that feel kind of like too convenient, especially in episode 6. Like, things just happened that were just like, okay, like that. It almost felt less like Game of Thrones and more like I was watching like a Marvel film at some points. But it didn't ruin the season for me. Like, I still felt like I was enjoying it just as much as any other season of Game of Thrones. I think some of the action was some of the best we've ever seen. I think some of the character moments and interactions were some of the best we've ever seen. I think some of the character decisions that they made, I'm again not going to go in specifics, but I think it was really solid. I don't think it's the best season. I don't think it's anywhere close to the best. I liked it a lot. I don't know. Call me crazy, but I liked it. Will you be seeing Barbie? Probably, but I can't say for sure. I'm definitely seeing Oppenheimer. I already have tickets for Oppenheimer and IMAX, but Barbie, I don't know. I appreciate it, Ghost. Thank you, man. That's you're not in the chat anymore, but thank you. I appreciate you stopping by. The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones, oh, it's a hard choice. Walking Dead is more important to me. It's more impactful. The highs have been higher, but Game of Thrones is just consistently better. But it's the Walking Dead is just I like it more. I prefer The Walking Dead. You know what I mean? But Game of Thrones, it's amazing too. I don't have to pick, to be honest. They're both the masterpieces in their own way. Bro, literally half the questions are just a Walking Dead character or a Game of Thrones character. Sam or Aaron? Probably Sam. Tywin or Beta? Tywin. Ramsey or Alpha? Probably Alpha. Will you be getting a Threads account? Is Twitter over? Okay. I'm not gonna make unless it gets really popular. I don't really care to go on Threads. I really don't. Like, I have no interest in it. I hopped on it for like a second just to like see what's up, and the conversations over there were the most boring thing ever. Like, it sounded like I didn't interest me. I don't know. Everyone's probably gonna stay on Twitter, and especially with Twitter doing this monetization thing, I don't think anyone's moving. And honestly, like I don't really, whatever your opinion is on Elon Musk, it's like whatever. But in terms of how the website is, I don't really notice that much of a difference since he took over. I don't. The only big thing that changed that I thought sucked was the whole checkmark thing. But it's not the end of the world. It's not the biggest deal ever, because all you have to do is click on the account to make sure it's actually them. It takes 2 seconds and then you go off. Whatever. It's stupid. I don't get why they did it. It's all for money, really. I do get why they did it for money, but I think it's stupid. But other than that, the website's the exact same it's always been. You know, people are saying there's a bunch of bots everywhere. That's literally always been the case. I've never not seen bots on Twitter. So, I don't know. I do think there's worse stuff like that nowadays, but I don't think it's because of any changes they made to the site. I think that's just human nature. We're getting more and more pathetic. So, so you just have people with bot accounts that just say stupid stuff on random posts. I don't know. But I don't know. Twitter is just, I'm not going to get off of it. It's kind of like, it's a good place to learn stuff about like movies and stuff. Like I follow a lot of news related channels. Obviously, sometimes they cover leaks that aren't real, but sometimes it's stuff I need to know for my channel. Sometimes it's important. Same for gaming. And I just like having a community there to talk to people. It's nice. I don't know. Doctor Who, that might have been on my. Did I put that on my list? I don't know. I don't think I did, but I feel like I should maybe. You gonna watch Rick and Morty? I've seen some episodes. I haven't watched through the entirety of it. I don't know if I ever will. It's funny, but I don't know if I have that much of an interest to watch it. But I might. I don't know. Have you seen King Kong 2005? King Kong 2005 is one of my favorite movies of all time. So yes, I have. It's in my like top 10 favorite movies. Have you seen MTV Scream Show? Yes. I thought it was good. Raid and the Raid 2. Yes, I've heard about the Raid, those movies. They're on my list for sure. I just don't know when I will ever get to them. I don't know. What's up, Billy Mount? Not every viewer subscribes, so views are important. More so in most ways, you are paid by views as well. Yeah, of course. Actually, technically, I want to correct you on this because actually some people don't know this. So you're not wrong completely, but I just want to clarify it because it's actually important, I think, to know from a viewer's perspective or even from creators who just don't know this. So being paid by views is not technically true, but obviously the more views you get, you likely will get more money. But you're actually more so paid based on other things. There's other factors that are more important. Now, there isn't like a set amount. It's not like you get this amount of money per views. It's not like that. But they do have it's okay. I'm terrible at explaining things, but let me try. So it's called RPM. It's revenue per milli. It's I don't know why they call it milli. It's just 1,000. I think it's like a might be a different language. I don't know. Whatever. They call it RPM, and essentially it's the amount of money you earn per 1,000 views. That amount changes on every single video, and there's certain reasons it changes. It changes based on the topic of the video. It changes based on the watch time, how much people are watching the video. It changes based on the region that the viewers are in. It changes based on a million things, actually. There's a lot of things I could probably name. And that will change based on the video, like I said. So chances are, because the watch time is very influential on that, the longer the video, the higher the RPM is probably going to be. So if I get 1 million views on a video that's 1 minute long, it's probably not going to make more money than a video with only 100,000 views, but a video that's an hour long and 100,000 views. I think that video would get more than the one with 1 million, but only 1 minute long. It really just depends, obviously. But so yeah, you're technically right. Yeah, views do have an influence on it, but it's not the deciding factor, is what I'm saying. Basically, that's the best way I could explain it, I guess. I don't know. For Better Call Saul. Oh, you're asking if I should just do one for Patreon for the if I should only do it from Patreon. That could work, but I don't know, because at the same time, like, I do like watching them in my bed. Like, so if I were to do that, I probably just would say screw it and edit them anyways. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll really like. It really just depends. There also is a limit to what I can post on Patreon because of my Vimeo account. So I'll have to see. No promises, but I haven't started season 5 yet, so maybe I will. I don't know. More Game of Thrones, please. I'll let you know this. Probably going to be 2 episodes per week until the end of the series, so expect that probably to be the case. Again, no promises on that though. It's sometimes something can happen. Maybe a video gets copyrighted, whatever it may be, but chances are it's going to be probably 2 episodes per week until I finish it. How do you manage your time? Like, how do you find time for college, YouTube, gym, assuming you frequent it, work, etc.? Well, here's the thing. I don't. I really don't, honestly. Like, sometimes I have to let things go. Like, there's been many times where I've done shitty on a college assignment because I wanted to make a YouTube video. And there's been times where I have been able to make a YouTube video because I was doing assignments. Or there's been times I skipped the gym, whatever it may be. But when I do a decent job, sometimes I do, I think the best way to do it is to literally force yourself to spend a certain amount of time on things and make sure you get it done within that time. Like, literally set like deadlines within a day. So if you start off your day and you have a class at like 10 a.m. or something and you finish at 12, whatever, let's say you have like an hour of homework. Set aside literally an hour and make sure you finish it in that time. No distractions. Finish it in that time. Then you move on to the next thing and the next thing. Like, you have to make sure there's no distractions, because 95% of the time we have enough time for these things. We do. Usually what causes us to not have enough time is distractions. And I mean, here's the number one distraction right here. I be frequent on this phone, man. I swear. Sometimes I'm not reacting. Sometimes I'm editing and I take a look at my phone, go on Twitter or TikTok or YouTube, and I'm stuck on it for 10 minutes and then I have to go back. Like, that happens to the best of us. Like, it does happen. And it's the best to try to avoid that as much as possible. Throw your phone in the other room, whatever it may be. I don't know. But it's okay to have breaks every now and then. I don't like. I think I allow myself to take breaks like that on Twitter because it's kind of like it just makes my mind like just calm down a bit, so then I can go back to the editing and then go back to it. You know, the person that called you lazy is probably jealous that they aren't focusing on their passion. That is kind of true, probably. That's one of the reasons I love doing YouTube, because these are things I'm passionate about. Like, I don't make any content on things I'm not at least somewhat passionate about. It just wouldn't be worth it. Laziness is the last I think of for your reactions. I'd miss most of the musical cues and purpose of direction and soundtrack if it wasn't for your reactions. That's actually really good to hear because that's one of the things that like I think I bring if I bring anything to the table when it comes to my reactions, I think it's music. I'm not a musician. Like I don't know how to play instruments other than the clarinet, but like I really do care about music in movies and shows. I think it's really important, and I listen to it way more than I think the average person. So I probably recognize it way more than the average person. And I do think I'm one of the only reactors who actually said I've watched plenty of reactions. I barely see people talking about the music, barely. But like I think it's really important. I think it really makes a difference in a scene, and I think it takes a scene from being really great to being amazing. It can make that leap, you know. Well, you're in luck since the new Five Nights at Freddy's movie is coming out this October. Oh yeah, forgot about that. That's coming. Is that coming out online or is it just in theaters? If it's in theaters, I'll probably see it in theaters. But if it's online, I might do a reaction. Have you seen the It films? Yes, I've seen all of them, even the original one. So no, See No Evil. Oh, I think I've heard of that. Haven't seen it though. I really appreciate your channel. That your reactions are quite engaging, original, genuine, and emotionally invested. Being that invested is hard work, and I value very much your I value very much your reactions. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. YouTube is a business, supply and demand. If one person asks for something, the rest of the community might not care. Then he loses views and worked on the video that didn't have much return investment. Exactly. Exactly. I think you're just like you're just shooting yourself in the foot if you do content on things. Like assuming you're spending a lot of time on it, right? Like I've seen people who say they don't care about views on YouTube before. I have. And then if you go on their channel, chances are they probably upload one video per like 3 months or something. Like if they don't care about views, they either or it's either they don't post it often, so it doesn't really matter, or they're rich, or not, I don't want to say rich, but they have a lot of money to the point where it doesn't matter, or they just genuinely don't care about money to the point where like it just doesn't, like they're the type of person who just can live off of nothing and just be fine with that. It's one of those three. It has to be one of those three. Like, and trust me, I've done videos that get barely any views before. Just for look at my reviews. I did a review for what do you call it, Mission Impossible, the ranking for it as well. I knew they weren't going to get a lot of views. I knew it going into it. I was like, it was probably going to get like 700 views maybe, and that's exactly what it got. But I did it because I cared about it. I like doing those videos. I love doing rankings and reviews, so I did them. I don't care. I did them anyways. But most of the time I can't do that. I can't watch a whole show. I can't watch a whole 100 episode show that I know is going to do terrible on YouTube just to do it. Like I can't do that. You know, it's just not a good idea. Your next is amazing, dressed up as the Fox villain for Halloween. Oh, your next, yeah, the movie. I thought you were talking about me. I thought you were talking about your next. I was like, what is my next? But yeah, you're I talking about the movie, yeah. How long does it take to edit your video? Depends on the video. Depends on the video. It's usually a couple hours, but it depends on the video. So if it's like a fast video, I could do it in like 10 minutes, but it just depends. It really just depends. Reactions, though, usually take a couple hours. What's your name and how did it turn into Movie Fusion? Well, my real name's Dan. The Movie Fusion name comes from, so I have another channel called Expert Fusion, which I used to post gaming videos on. I still do, just not as frequent. And that channel I created in 2013 when I was 13 years old. And I made it because the game Trials Fusion. I don't know if anyone's played the game Trials Fusion. I played that game and I was looking at it when I decided my name. I was 13 years old, so if you're wondering why the name sounds a bit kiddish, I was 13 years old when I made it. And I made it expert. If I put expert in front of it because it sounded cool. I don't know. I was like, whatever, sounds cool. And then when I made this channel, originally it was the Walking Dead Fusion because it was going to be a Walking Dead channel, but then I shifted to making just movie and TV show content in general. And then I was like, oh, Movie Fusion sounds cool, and no one else has that name, so fuck it, I'll do that. There you go. That's how it is. Also, I my favorite football team, American football team, is these Los Angeles Chargers, and their logo is a lightning bolt, and Fusion is kind of like a lightning bolt, like a fuse type of thing. So that's why I did the lightning bolt too. Some people thought the lightning bolt was the Flash. They were like, "Oh, you must love the Flash," but I was like, "No, it's not the Flash. It's just I just like lightning bolts because of the Chargers." And I was looking at his tabs and trying to catch him in 4K. Did I have any tabs open? No, I don't think I did. We're talking about my what do you call these? What do you call these? The favorited tabs. Those are you're looking at those? I have Twitter, Patreon, My Drive, Google Images, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Portfolio for Robinhood, which I don't even use anymore, but I used to use that. I used to do a lot of stuff with stocks. And then just Amazon related stuff, and then Vimeo. Littlefinger or the governor? The governor. Ever seen Pedro Pascal in Prospect? Nope, never seen it. Spider-Man or Rick Grimes? I think Spider-Man or Rick is my favorite character in fiction, so it's gonna be Rick Grimes. No matter what question it is, it's gonna be Rick if Rick's involved. Oh, I just saw a comment I wanted to answer from I'm So Awesome Face. How you doing, dude? How's your summer going so far? Do you think The Walking Dead is going to start doing spin-offs of spin-offs, like Ginny getting a show? Just an example, not saying I want this. I hope to God not. Okay, I don't mind if they do. I would just prefer to do something else. You know what I mean? Like, I could see them doing that, and if they have nothing else planned, sure, go for it. Make whatever you want. I don't care. But I would never want that in place of like an original show. You know what I mean? Because I can't think of any characters from any of these, at least for Dead City. None of these characters I would want to spin off for example. I mean, to be fair, I guess the only other character is Jenny, really, but I just wouldn't want that. No. And yeah, I'm assuming by your comment you wouldn't want that either. At least for Ginny. But I'm sure there's people maybe in the new shows that they can find spin-offs for, but I just nothing in Dead City so far. Nothing. I think the only characters that I really am interested in are Maggie and Daryl. Or Maggie and Negan. Yeah, so with the animated Star Wars shows, I got spoiled. It was some of it was intentional, I'm gonna be honest, because like a couple years ago when like these shows were new, I never had any intention of watching them. So I just looked up the cool scenes. I was like, oh, I want to watch these cool scenes, but I don't feel like watching the show. And then I got older and I realized that was stupid of me. These are amazing shows. I should have actually took on them seriously and watched through them. But instead I spoiled them for myself years ago. So it was kind of my fault to be honest, but whatever. I don't care. It's no biggie. I'm still loving watching it regardless. What do your friends think of your work on YouTube? Yeah, I don't really think much of it. They kind of just like, oh, okay, cool. There are some times where like it's hard to explain certain things to them because, like, for example, it's kind of implied that YouTube allows you to make your own schedule. You can work whenever the hell you want. So a lot of my friends think, oh, well, that doesn't matter then. You can work later. You don't have to do it now. But sometimes I'm like, no, but I want to do it now. You know what I mean? Like I want to do this now so I don't have to do it later, or because it's important to finish as soon as possible because I want to upload it today. But a lot of times they just don't get it and they're like, bro, you can make your own schedule. Do it tomorrow. But I'm like, no, that's not really how it works. But I don't expect people who don't do it to understand it fully. That's just kind of expected. Ugh. Bro, it is so hot in this room. Dude, I hate the summer. No, I love summer, but it's just like it only is good when you're like when you're at the pool and just chilling, but like when you're inside a really hot room that doesn't have proper air conditioning. Actually, wait, hold on. The AC's not even on. Let me turn it on. I'll be right back. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I did not take it out long to turn on the AC. That I passed by the toilet and it looked too good to not pee into because I had to pee. So I just did that real quick. All right. Okay. Let's do some more. Hopefully I can get through some of these because there's a lot of y'all, man. I'm surprised a lot of you watch like these streams. I'm honestly like, it shocks me every time to see like even more than 30 people would surprise me. But okay. I liked all 8 seasons of Game of Thrones. Can't wait to see reactions. So far, I agree. I've liked all 7 seasons. So let's see how I feel about season 8. I don't know. Have you seen Twister? No, I haven't. Yeah, I've seen the original King Kong as well. So I've seen the one from 1933. I've seen the one from, was it the 70s? I don't know. And I've seen Skull Island as well. But I think the Peter Jackson's 2005 remake was just too good. It was too good. Favorite video game growing up on console. A console, I always play the Xboxes. I was always an Xbox guy. I got the original Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and I got a Series X. I've been through all the Xbox consoles. But the games I used to love the most were definitely the Call of Duty games. I still do. Like, I'm probably one of the biggest Call of Duty fans in the world because I've been playing those games since 2006, and I've played every single one ever since then, every single year. So 2006, I played Call of Duty 3 with my brothers and friends and stuff, and I was 6 years old, but I still loved it. Who cares? I don't know. I probably shouldn't have been playing those games when I was 6, but whatever. And starting, I think, in 2009 with Modern Warfare 2, I started getting the game every single year on launch day. And every single year since then, I played the game on launch day and played it a bunch throughout the year. It's definitely caused me to not play enough of other games, though, because I take up so much of my gaming time on Call of Duty. But I just love it too much. I love the multiplayers. I love the zombies. Like, there's just too much to it. I just love. I can't get enough of it, which is why I have a whole channel surrounded upon it. But that's definitely my favorite games for sure. It's just the COD games. But other than that, I don't know. I used to play this Rocky Balboa game when I was really young. I used to love that. Which genre do you like best? Action, sci-fi, or mystery thriller? It's a really hard thing to choose because I'd say it's between horror, action, and like thriller. Between those 3. Are you excited for Barbie? Not particularly, but I'm gonna see it regardless. I'm not like I'm excited to see how it's looked. I think the set design is probably what's gonna be most interesting. But am I expecting it to be like a movie I absolutely adore? Probably not. But I hope to be surprised. Oh yeah, honestly, so the Better Call Saul thing, you're saying I should make a video on it even if I should make some kind of content on it even if I don't do reactions. You know what I did with The Walking Dead where I ranked every episode? I kind of want to do that with Breaking Bad and maybe even Better Call Saul and maybe even Game of Thrones after I finish it. If enough people want to see it, I'll definitely do it. I'm definitely going to do that for Stranger Things after season 5, that's for sure. Because I love doing that Walking Dead video, that ranking every episode. It's a long video. It took me like 70 plus hours to make, probably even longer, but I love doing it. I want to do it again. I think there's a way to load your videos directly to Patreon and bypassing Vimeo completely. Yeah, I don't think it's accessible for everyone just yet, though. I'm pretty sure I haven't gotten access to it. And even if I have, I don't know. I don't know if I would change, but we'll see. Has your girlfriend ever seen Game of Thrones? Funny enough, she's actually watched it before me, and she was probably a bigger fan of it than I am, to be honest. Actually, I think I'm catching up with her, to be honest. I don't know. I might like it just as much as her now, but yeah, she was the one who actually convinced me to watch it more than anyone, probably. And so, I mean, there was so this is actually really interesting, and a lot of people don't know this. I did a poll asking if you guys wanted to. I say you guys as in like you viewers, all the viewers on my channel, because specifically the people here, I doubt most of you voted on this poll specifically. But I did it like 2 years ago. I did a poll asking, should I watch Game of Thrones for reactions for this channel? Right? 51% said no. And so when I saw that, I was like, all right, I'm not going to do it then. Like, I just straight up said no because 51% said no. And to be fair, I had a very different audience back then, I'm sure, so maybe that's why. But then I did the poll again, I believe, and then people were wanting me to watch Game of Thrones, and so all of a sudden I was like, oh no, we want you to watch it. So then I was like, okay, and then my girlfriend really wanted me to watch it, so I was like, okay, fuck it, I gotta do it then. So that's why I started, and I'm glad I did because it's becoming one of my favorite shows. So it's a very good thing I did. Millie is Latin for 1,000. Okay, that makes perfect sense then. Okay, there you go. You explained what I was trying to say before. Yeah. Will you be starting House of the Dragon right after Game of Thrones? Oh yeah. I don't know about like right after. I'm gonna probably take like a week or two, but yeah, pretty much as soon as I can. I'll probably start at like late August, early September, something like that. Because I should be done with Game of Thrones by the end of August. In terms of like on YouTube, I'm gonna probably finish it myself in the next couple weeks. I should be done with it even before August, but for YouTube, it's probably not gonna be on YouTube until the end of August, probably. And yeah, I do intend on doing some Game of Thrones rankings. There's some rankings I want to hold off on doing though, like the seasons one, for example, because I kind of want to wait till House of the Dragon season 2 comes out. Because I think doing a Game of Thrones universe ranking would be a little bit more interesting. And if I do that when Game of Thrones or when House of the Dragon season 2 comes out, it would probably be get more views. Wouldn't you think? It'd probably get more views if I did that when that show comes out, because more people are going to be talking about the show, and then I could do a top 10 because it's 10 seasons worth of Game of Thrones universe content, and I think that'd be more interesting. I don't know. Theories for Chucky season 3. Oh boy, I hope it's good. I really doubt it will be, to be honest. I really didn't like season 2. I didn't hate it. I had a lot of issues with it though. If anyone watched my ranking of all the movies and the seasons, I had season 2 as one of the lowest ones. I don't know. It felt like it was going in such a bad direction. Season 1 I think was really good. Season 2 just kind of like I just didn't care for it too much. I thought some of it was great though. Some of it was great. It was really entertaining. Nonetheless, it's entertaining. That above all else is the most important thing. Was it entertaining? Yes, it was. Season 3, hopefully it's entertaining. In terms of just theories, I mean, I don't know. I want them to get back into the horror aspect of it. I want it to be scary. Not like terrifying. I don't expect Chucky to be terrifying, but I want it to be a little bit more in that realm. More of a slasher sort of thing, Do you watch other reaction channels? Oh yeah. The Real Rejects and Blind Wave are probably the main ones. I've definitely seen some others as well, but those are like the main ones where I've like probably watched the most of their reactions. And then like if anyone's watching Walking Dead, I usually check their stuff out too. Like this channel Rob and Trin right now, they're watching The Walking Dead. I watch them from time to time. I can't say I watch like all of them, but I watch as many as I can in my free time. And yeah, I've definitely seen more, but I wouldn't go through and list all of them right now because I can't like think of them off the top of my head. But I've definitely seen quite a few. Yeah, I don't really pick reaction channels based on like. It's usually based on what they're watching. Like if they're watching The Walking Dead, I'm probably gonna watch it. But I'm really excited to finish Game of Thrones so I can watch Game of Thrones reactions. I'm gonna go through a bunch of different channels and watch their reactions. That'd be really fun. Do you have an Instagram and Twitter? I have a Twitter. Link should be in the description to that. There might be a link to it. But Instagram, I have a personal Instagram. It's not for the channel. I'm private on it, so I'm not going to share that. But, Twitter, you guys can follow me. And if you DM me, I might answer because I have answered plenty of DMs. Not all of them, though. If you say some weird stuff, I'm not going to answer. I've had plenty of weird DMs that I just don't answer. Which episode of The Walking Dead do you think is better? Better Angels or A? I think A is better. But yeah, they're pretty perfect. They're pretty damn good episodes. They're both in my top 20, I think. Barrison, Selmy, or Morgan? Probably Morgan. Just slightly. Do you think he'll be playing Hogwarts Legacy? Oh no. Oh no. See, this is the thing. I mentioned this so many times. I'm so bad at finishing games. So I started Hogwarts Legacy. I got through a decent amount of it. I don't even know about a decent amount. Probably like 7 hours worth maybe. And I have videos of it on my one of my other channels. So if you want to watch it, Expert Fusion 2, that channel, I have my Let's Play of Hogwarts Legacy. And I just stopped. Like I'm so bad at finishing games. I've literally never finished a recent single player game. Actually, that's not true. I've finished a couple, but most of them I don't finish. If it's too long, I just don't end up finishing it. It sucks that that's the case, but what can you do? What can you do? Where was I? Bro, I think you took 15 minutes to answer my question. Probably. 100% agree with you on the music and TV shows and movies. It's important as well. Yeah, it's probably the top 5 most important things in my opinion. I think it make or breaks a lot of movies. Halloween's the best example. I think Halloween would be a boring movie if it didn't have John Carpenter's amazing music. Straight up, it would be a boring movie. Like it literally just be a guy stalking a woman for an hour and then eventually he kills some people. That's literally what Halloween would be, and I just wouldn't find it interesting. The reason why the movie's so good though is because of the music and how it builds tension. It's all the tension that it builds. You need it sometimes. You really need it. What is your favorite sci-fi? Oh, definitely Interstellar. Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. Period. What's your musical taste like? I'll tell you right now. I have a playlist with like every type of music. Well, first of all, movie soundtracks in general. I honestly will listen to movie soundtracks. Like that's something I do. I have literally a full thing of just movie soundtracks on my phone. There's a bunch. But for just regular like songs, let's just go through it. AC/DC, Eminem, Nirvana. There's like a million different things. So like don't like it, you're gonna be freaked out by some of these choices. Rihanna is I think one of the best musical artists of all time. I think she's the best one of the 21st century, straight up. I have Will Smith on here. Green Day definitely. Bon Jovi, even Elvis. I like Elvis's music. Some Frank Sinatra stuff. Madonna. I have so many different Guns N' Roses too. The Cranberries, 9 Inch Nails, The Neighborhood, some weird band called DEHD. I actually went to one of their concerts just on like a random like spontaneous thing with my girlfriend because she had tickets to it and we went to their concert. They actually do have decent music. I have some of their music on my thing. Really small band though. Kesha, fucking used to love Kesha when I was younger. A lot of Rihanna. I gotta say, I have like every single freaking Rihanna song in existence on my thing. Fleetwood Mac's not too bad. Elton John. It's just a lot of like random songs to be honest. Like I don't have a preference. Like I just if it reminds me of a good time, I'm gonna like it. It's as simple as that. You're actually quite down to earth and honest with your answers, which is lovely to see. Thank you. I'm glad to. I think it's important to do that, as much as possible. I want to be as honest with my viewers as I possibly can be, because otherwise it just feels disingenuous. My parents don't love me, thus I will ask inappropriate questions. Is it okay to leave a dog in a car? I thought you were gonna say, is it okay to leave a hot dog in a car? No, it's not okay to leave a dog in a hot car. I hope to make a spinoff for Commonwealth so we can see Ezekiel, Pamela, and Mercer again. CRM having a problem with because they're supposed to send Connie. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. There should be a conflict between CRM and Commonwealth because like they were supposed to do a lot and they just stopped. So wouldn't CRM come back and be like, yo, what's going on here? Where is all the people you were sending us? And then they just stopped doing it. So that is something that should happen. I don't want them to do a spinoff for it though. I just want the Rick show to lead into that. Like maybe the Rick show eventually shows him returning to Commonwealth and then the problem between CRM and Commonwealth happen. Or maybe, oh, fucking great idea I just had. So Rick is with CRM, right? What if he is forced to go to Commonwealth on a mission to like, attack them or whatever, and he has to go incognito as a CRM soldier, maybe even with Michonne, back to Commonwealth, and that's how he reunites with everyone. I just cracked the code. That'd be awesome. That'd be insane. And then they get in this whole battle. He has to fight the CRM within the CRM and try to save them, save his people from, that would be freaking lovely, man. Oh my God. Okay. I just freaked out because that was a great theory. Are we going to get it though? Probably not. Probably not. No, you can't say the N-word in here. Actually, I don't think you'd be able to. I'm pretty sure YouTube would just remove it. So like, actually, I can't even say that for sure because sometimes YouTube. I've seen some pretty fucked up things that people say on YouTube and it doesn't get removed. So actually, I don't even know, to be honest. But I'm pretty sure there's a filtering system for stuff like that. I would like to see a ranking of all the big battles after you finish Game of Thrones. I probably will do that. Probably. No promises though, but probably. Black Ops 1 zombies is top tier. Yeah, I love all the zombies, to be honest. Not all of them. There's like 1 or 2 I'm not crazy about, but I enjoy playing all of them. Cold War beating IW in that zombie poll was criminal. I don't know which poll you're talking about, but actually, I think I know what you're talking about. Actually, was it on Twitter or was it on a YouTube poll? I don't know, but I remember there being a poll like that. Oh, you're talking about? I think I know what poll you're talking about. Yeah. But that is criminal. IW Zombies is completely underrated. Rob Stark over Ezekiel? Probably Rob. Your ranking videos are so good. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I'm honestly, like, as much as I love doing reactions, I think my favorite videos to do are rankings. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I love doing rankings. It's so much fun. As a reactor, how are you able to only watch one episode of things you love at a time? To me, it's always so difficult to not want to watch it more. It is really hard. I'll agree with that because there's a lot of times I'll get to the end of the episode, I'll be like, I need to watch more, and I just don't because I need to edit it and do all that. But yeah, it's tough. There's been times I have watched more than one episode in a day. I just did that for The Punisher, actually. I watched 2 episodes of The Punisher the other day in one day, but most of the time I don't do that because I like to edit them before watching another one, especially for Game of Thrones because there's so much detail that I sometimes miss, and I catch it in my reaction when I'm editing. So I think I prefer to do it like that, but it just depends. Have you heard of Peaky Blinders? Yes. It might be on my polls, I think. What's your favorite season of The Boys? Probably season 2, actually. Which might be unpopular. I think most people's favorite is season 3, but I actually preferred season 2. What are your socials? They should all be in the description. If they're not, tell me. I'll check myself right now because they should be in the description. And if they're not, then that's my fault, but they should be. Pretty much everything that's I use would be in there. Yeah, they are there. So my Twitter, my Letterboxd, and my Twitch. That's pretty much all I have other than YouTube. So that's all you need to know. My other YouTube channels are there too, so that's all you need to know. If you're interested, of course. Do you wish Fear crossed over with The Walking Dead before the main show ended? Yes! I've been saying that for years. They should have ended Fear the Walking Dead with season 6, have the characters go to Commonwealth, and boom, have those characters in the last season of The Walking Dead. That would have been cool. That would have been cool. That would have been so fucking awesome. Thank you, Juan Ramos. I appreciate that. You're one of my favorite people on YouTube. Keep up the great work. I will try my best. Narcos Mexico. Yeah, I might try to watch Narcos on this channel as well. I'm not too sure. Again, only 35 shows I can put on those polls, so it really just depends what I want to put on those. Even though Last Crusade is my favorite Indiana Jones film, the first movie utilizes the music the best. Anytime warnings to not mess with the art comes up, the theme that comes into full force. I agree. I think the Indiana Jones movies are some of the best examples of soundtracks done right. And yeah, all the movies have great soundtracks for Indiana Jones. Do you think if you watched Game of Thrones earlier than The Walking Dead, you would be more of a fan of Game of Thrones? It's totally possible, yeah. Because like I said, a big part of my love for The Walking Dead is that I grew up with it. Like I've been watching it since I was 10 or like 11, whatever. I've watched it for like more than 10 years at this point. and I went through every season with it every Sunday, watched a new episode. Like I grew up with it. You know what I mean? If I did that same thing with Game of Thrones, yeah, I think it probably would impact it. I probably would like that show more. It just depends. How much time do you get for yourself when working for YouTube, and how many videos are you contracted to upload per day? Well, I'm not contracted to do it, but more like I just want to. I try my best to do one a day, but I obviously don't do that. Obviously, you guys see I plenty of days I don't go without uploading anything, but I try my best to do at least, I would say, like 4 to 5 videos per week at least. I try my best within any of my channels. That's like throughout all of them, but sometimes it's hard to do that. Petition for you to see a famous composer with scenes playing and review it. Oh, I would love to. I would love to. Especially for Game of Thrones. Yeah, no, my playlist is really random. Okay, I'm starting to catch up a little bit because what is being said here I didn't say too long ago, so that's good. Again, I'm sorry I'm not reading everything. Like, it's just impossible for me to do that. I'm just picking and choosing questions more than anything. But some of the questions I have to skip. It's just, I just can't do it. Shay or Andrea? Definitely Andrea. Yara or Tara? Dude, some of these are funny just based on the way you're doing it. Probably Tara. I said Tara because that's what Yara is, but it's, you don't say Tara, you say Tara. Never seen rankings? Yeah, I haven't posted that many of them, but I love doing them. What do you think of Deadpool 3 so far? By the way, love your videos. Thank you, Super Mario Braden. So Deadpool 3, I'm really worried for it because it's going through so many problems with the writer's strike. I honestly hope they just stop working on it, which I think they did, and just wait as long as they can. Because apparently, like, Ryan Reynolds was not going to be able to do any improv for his lines while the writer's strike was going on. And to me, that is a recipe for disaster for a movie. It just is. Like, I feel like the dialogue would end up so shit if that was the case. So I'm very glad that, or no, I'm very hopeful that they could delay it as long as they could, make sure they make it as good as it can be, because I don't want them to rush that movie. I think that movie has the potential to be really huge. A lot of cameos that are rumored to happen, a lot of crazy events. Just make sure it's good, you know? Wait till after the strikes and wait till you're done with that stuff. I would say so. I think of the best ranking videos on YouTube. Thank you so much, Kermit the Frog. Favorite moment in Game of Thrones? It's hard to answer that question because, like I said, I don't want to say any spoilers, but I would probably say my favorite moment. I'm not going to say spoilers. I'm going to try to say it without spoiling anything. It's such a hard question. Favorite moment. Whoa! Almost dropped my water. I almost spilled this shit. I want to say it's between the Red Wedding. It could also be just the entire Battle of the Bastards, like the entire thing. The Light of the Seven moment, the beginning of season 6, episode 10, and yeah, probably between those, I would say. Yeah, maybe Tyrion defending himself in the trial scene. That's definitely up there. Those are all the ones I can think of. Sorry to ask about games here, but would you like... Oh, no, you can ask games. It is a Q&A for anything, to be honest. Although, yeah, I'm probably going to talk more about movies and shows just by the nature of the channel. But I don't mind talking about games. Would you like Willard Wiley return for COD 2023 Zombie Story? I think his film theme for Zombies maps is just so underrated. I would literally, like, pay so much money for that. I'm not even, like, I would probably spend I'd spend $1,000 to get that. I'm not even lying. Because that does sound amazing. I would love that, but they're not going to do it. We know they're not, because they prefer a more realistic approach. They're going to do some, like, modern era zombie thing. It's going to be like Warzone Zombies or some shit. I don't know. They're not going to do that as much as I would absolutely love to see that. Like, that would be fantastic. The movie themes were so cool. Like, imagine we got, like, freaking... I don't know, like a pirate themed map or something, because like it's a film themes, like something like that, a superhero themed map for zombie. Like, they could do so much. That'd be so cool, but they're not gonna do it, unfortunately. My comments won't go through. This one went through at least. I have all chat on, so they should all go through, but maybe I might have missed them though, because I haven't said everything. Unless there is an issue and some of them aren't going through. I don't know. Top 3 fictional characters besides Rick. Jesse Pinkman. Jon Snow. Can I say Negan? I don't know. No, maybe I'm trying to think of a movie character because I didn't put a movie character. I didn't put a movie character in there. Maybe I feel like show characters are more likely to be better because you just spend more time with them. You learn more about them. Obviously, movies you kind of just they come and go. So it's hard to say a movie character, but for shows, yeah, definitely Jon Snow, Negan, Jesse Pinkman, Walter White, probably even like, yeah. Which Game of Thrones moment shocked you the most? Red Wedding, probably. Um, Either that or the Light of the Seven situation. Have you done a live feed of your top favorite movie composers? No, but I can tell you what they are right now. Actually, I don't have to pull it up. I'll say Hans Zimmer is my number one, John Williams, and then after that it gets a bit tricky. Um, Raymond Djwani, is that how you say his name? The Game of Thrones composer, he's definitely up there now. Bear McCreary, he does the Walking Dead music, he's up there. I would say Michael Giacchino's up there. I would say Marco Beltrami's up there. I would say Lorne Balfe is up there. I would say John Carpenter's up there. John and Cody Carpenter. Who else? I forget the composer's name, but the composer that composed Joker, she was really good. I forget her name though. Sarah Schnachter. I don't know how to say her name. She does a lot of video games. She did Infinite Warfare. She's great music. I'm definitely missing some big ones. Definitely. I can't think of them, but there's definitely more. I know a lot for sure. I know a lot of composers. Will you be seeing Barbenheimer? I'll be seeing Oppenheimer on Thursday. Barbie, I don't know yet. If I do see it, it probably will be on like Saturday, maybe. What are your thoughts on UK movies? 28 Days Later, Snatch. Well, I've seen 28 Days Later, and that's really good. Other UK movies, I don't really know, to be honest. Like, I don't really always know what movie is a UK movie. Is it considered a UK movie? It's a set in the UK, or does it have to be filmed in the UK? Don't know. But the ones I have seen, 28 Days Later, yeah, I love that movie. Yeah, a lot of people are asking for tier lists of like the battles and stuff. Definitely going to be doing that. I did that for The Walking Dead. I'm going to do that for Game of Thrones for sure. Oh yeah, no, the Arya scene. Yeah, no, that one's up there too. That has to be up there. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that was fun. That's probably my craziest reaction ever, to be honest. If you could be a fly in the wall in any project being filmed, what would it be? A fly? Wait, hold on. Hold on, hold on. Oh, okay. See, I don't know these phrases, so I thought you meant a legitimate fly on the wall, and I was confused. I'd probably say I want to say anything Walking Dead related, probably. Like the Rick and Michonne series, which is already finished filming, but you know, something like that maybe. If I want to meet anyone, it probably would be the Walking Dead actors, to be honest. So, favorite director, Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan. I always want to say I always say it wrong, but I feel like it's not a hard name to say. I just say it wrong for some reason. Have you chosen the next show you'll react to after Game of Thrones? Nope, but I have polls that I will be doing in the future, and we will do all that. Oh, Danny Elfman. Yes, definitely Danny Elfman. He's up there too. Danny Elfman is fantastic. Which film is most nostalgic for you? Either Back to the Future, Spider-Man. Oh, definitely the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies. 100%. Those are some of the most nostalgic movies. Between those and Back to the Future and maybe Star Wars movies, like the original trilogy and the prequels. What's your favorite movie with subtitles? What do you mean by that? Do you mean like international films that I watched with subtitles? Because I watch like all movies with subtitles nowadays. But if you mean international movies that I had to watch with subtitles, probably Parasite. Yeah, Fly on the Wall, Passive Observer. Yeah, I had to look it up. That's what I was doing. I was so confused. Uh, what are your top 3 supporting actors in any film? Oh, that's hard because it's supporting actors instead of just like if you just said regular actor, it'd be easier. Can I just say my top 3 actors? Do I have to say supporting actors? Because supporting makes it seem like I have to think of like movies where they have a supporting role rather than the leading role. And do I have to specify the film? Even favorite actors is a hard question. I'd probably say Andrew Lincoln and then Leonardo DiCaprio, Joaquin Phoenix, maybe. Have you seen Black Mirror? Only one episode because in high school, one of my teachers showed us one of the episodes in class. I don't know why, but she just did. So I've only seen one episode. It was the one with what's her name? Bryce Dallas Howard. It was the one with her in it. Skips my question, LOL. I've been skipping a lot of questions because if I sat here and read every single thing, bro, we would be here till like we'd be here for another 3 hours. I have to end this soon. Like I can't do this forever. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But maybe I was gonna read your question, but now because you said that, I don't know if I want to anymore. No, I'm kidding. I'll go back and find it. Any chance of a Jaws reaction series? No, because I did the first movie already. I already did the first Jaws. I did it like 3 years ago, actually. I did a reaction to it. But I don't have any interest in the other ones. I've heard terrible things about them, and I don't think many people would want to see my reactions to them. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm just kind of like, I just don't think I would. But never say never. Never say. I did the first Jaws, though. Maybe you don't know that. I did the first Jaws. Are you planning on watching Zombieverse? Is that like the Dawn of the Dead stuff? Like those movies? I've only seen. If we're talking about any like of the Dead movies, I've seen the original like Night of the Living Dead, the George Romero one. I've seen that. I haven't seen like any of the other ones, so maybe I will at some point if I can watch them. I definitely want to do the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead. I definitely want to do that one. That'd be fun. I don't know what else though. Most overrated movie. I will let you know right now because I'm gonna find out using Letterboxd. So basically, the best way to figure out what movie you consider to be the most overrated is you want to go to your list of films on Letterboxd if you have a Letterboxd account. You want to sort them by your you want to sort them by the average rating. And I'm gonna go highest, right? And then you then look through. So here's my Letterboxd, all the films there, and then you sort through them, and you just look which one is you give a low amount of stars to that's also rated very highly. So just an example, I only gave, let's see, I mean, I gave Alien a 3.5 out of 5, and I think Alien's a much more beloved movie than that. So maybe that's, I wouldn't call it overrated, though. I still think it's perfectly rated. It's just, I just didn't like it as much as others. Oh, The Exorcist. I did not like The Exorcist that much. I really didn't. I think The Exorcist is so overrated. That would probably be my answer. The Exorcist. Definitely The Exorcist. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's overrated. It's not. It doesn't deserve a 4.0 on Letterboxd. I gave it a 3.5, but no, I give it a 3. I think it's overrated. It is not that scary. It's not. I don't think the story is that interesting. I'm sorry. I just didn't like it. I didn't hate it. It's still 3 is decent. I just didn't love it. What else? I don't know. That's probably my best answer, to be honest. I don't know. I honestly don't like exorcism movies that much. I watch so many of them and they never interest me that much. They're all the same, I feel like. It's like you lift some girl in the air, she's like, ah, she's screaming, and then they're like, oh, let's throw some holy water at you, and then it's a priest doing some prayers for 20 minutes, and then it's like, oh, ah! It's like, okay, all right, we get it. Like some of them have been good. The one I liked the more than anything was, what was it called? It was like the devil something. It was directed by Scott Derrickson. I forget what it was called. Something with the devil in it, but it was actually pretty good. It was one of the only exorcism movies I really liked. Oh, there was another one he did too. I think it was about was it also Scott Derrickson who did it? It took a different route than other exorcism movies, and it kind of focused on a court case surrounding it. I thought that was really interesting. Like there's certain things you can do with the exorcism concept. I just feel like a lot of movies aren't very interesting with it though, which is why I usually don't go see them in theaters. Like I know there's one that came out this year with the Pope's Exorcist or something. I didn't watch it. I don't. It doesn't interest me. I don't know. I might see it, but I might watch at some point. I know I'm probably not gonna like it that much. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. Have you noticed any decline in quality for Game of Thrones season 7? Only thing I really noticed is there's definitely faster pace to it. The dialogue is still really great, but I definitely think it's maybe not as good as before, but that doesn't mean it's bad. I just think it's not as good as well before. And I also can see that there's certain things that they're writing that does seem a bit too convenient for the situation they're in, and it's almost like too easy, certain things. But none of that really takes away from how much I'm enjoying it. So I don't know. There's a lot of things I like about it, you know what I mean? So I can definitely see a decline in certain aspects, but not like the decline's a bad word to use because like I just I don't think every episode was like that. You know, like there's certain episodes, sure, but episode 4, for example, which I didn't upload that, I'm gonna upload it tomorrow. I fucking loved. I didn't have like any issues with that episode. I thought it was perfect. But there's definitely some other episodes that I thought maybe there were some issues with it. You know, it just depends. So it's hard to say decline, but oop, whoa. Did you realize Nick Fury's wife in Secret Invasion is the same actress that played his mom in Unbreakable? Really? Okay, that's fucking insane. That's really cool. I didn't know that. Have you seen the new Insidious? No, because I haven't seen 2, 3, or 4. I've seen the first one. I did a reaction for it. Have you seen Prometheus and or Alien Covenant? Nope. Only 2 Alien films I've never seen, and I would like to do them for my channel, but I'm probably gonna wait until the Alien. There's a new Alien movie coming out. I think. Was it next year? Wasn't there's a new Alien movie coming out. That's all I know. I think it's what's his name again? I forget the director's name, but I know there's a pretty popular director. He's doing an Alien movie soon, and so when they do that, I'll probably do those movies because it'll make more sense to do them before that comes out. Are you gonna finish the Die Hard movies? Oh, it's been so long. I did Die Hard 3. I did do Die Hard 3 on the channel. Just search it up, you'll find it. But I did not do 4 or 5. And only reason I didn't do them is because a lot of people told me not to. So I just didn't do them. But I might do them at some point. I don't know. I haven't seen Army of the Dead, no. Alien is really loved. Yeah, that's true. I guess I didn't really love it. I just liked it. I loved Aliens, though. Aliens, I think, is a lot better. Exorcist, I feel like, I don't know. It's always hailed as one of like the best horror movies. I just never felt that way. Yeah, no, Blue Gypsy. That is true. They um definitely for its time they're really important. Like I did hear about that. Like The Exorcist like blew people away, but I just obviously my own experience didn't watch it back then. I watched it now, so I'm like, yeah, okay, it's not as impactful to me, which is totally expected. Which is why I love different opinions. I think different opinions on movies is so important because we all have different experiences. It's very obvious we're gonna have different opinions on it, but you know, that's just how it is. I think Cat in the Hat's one of the funniest movies of all time, but is most people gonna say that? No, definitely not. Worst 3 Marvel TV shows: She-Hulk. I've only seen the MCU ones. I can't talk about. Well, I guess no. I've seen Daredevil, parts of the Punisher, Jessica Jones, Defenders. but mainly talking about MCU. I don't think any of those would be bottom three, but the MCU bottom three. Yeah, I want to say She-Hulk, and I want to say Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and maybe Miss Marvel. I didn't think Miss Marvel was bad. If we're gonna say the worst three, I have to. Oh, you said best three. Oh no, you said best three and worst three. Okay, worst three. I just told you probably those three. The only one I really didn't like out of those was She-Hulk. I thought Falcon and Winter Soldier and Miss Marvel were okay, but like, if I have to put them at the bottom, I have to put them at the bottom. And the best three, probably Loki, Secret Invasion. So far, I know it's not over, but already 4 episodes in, I think it's one of the best. And Daredevil, because if we could talk about any Marvel show, definitely Daredevil. Punisher, I'm only 5 episodes into it. I can't really say it's one of my favorite yet. It's only 5 episodes out of the long series. I guess why I said Secret Invasion was one of the top best, and there's only 2 episodes into it, or 4 episodes, but whatever. When I was thinking about what you said, I was thinking MCU. That's why I said Secret Invasion. But I guess, I don't know, Punisher's probably better. It's probably gonna be better, but we'll see. She-Hulk was fun. She was twerking with the stallion. Yeah. Like, I had fun with it, but like, I just thought I just didn't think it was funny. I didn't think it was funny. I didn't think the writing was good. I didn't think anything about the show. I just felt like it was a waste of my time, that kind of a thing. I definitely see the purpose for it. There's definitely a large audience that found it to be very funny, and that's cool. But it just wasn't for me. Like, I just didn't laugh much at all. I felt like it was one of those shows that it didn't really do anything with the characters. Like, even if it's a really funny show, like, I still want more than just laughs, you know? Like, Friends, I don't like because it's funny. Yeah, sure, it's funny. I think it's very funny, but I don't like it because of that. I like it because the characters. There's a lot of great stuff they do with the characters. A lot of interesting situations. They don't do anything interesting with She-Hulk, in my opinion. They don't. I never felt like I was invested in this character. I think the actress did a phenomenal job. She was amazing in the role. She fits She-Hulk perfectly. But they didn't do anything with the character. They make her unlikable within the first episode, and they never like build her up from that. I thought they were gonna build her up or something. They're gonna make her, kind of like realize that like how she was acting wasn't very, wasn't very nice of her, and that she wants to like become like, the whole series was kind of like her kind of dealing with this whole other self of hers, right? But they just don't do anything with it. They have one scene where she's like emotional about in episode 7, but it's like that's all they do, and then they just kind of whatever. It doesn't do much, and then it ends the show with literally the character herself being like, "Wow, this whole storyline makes no sense." She literally says that, and yeah, she's self-aware, but self-aware does not make it suddenly good, right? If it's just a joke to begin with, I don't know. It's hard for me to really enjoy it. I get that's kind of the point. It's supposed to be a joke. It's a comedy, whatever. But like, that's not gonna make me suddenly like it. You know what I mean? Like Deadpool 2 did some stuff like that, where like it took stuff as such a joke that like, I get it's a comedy, but like sometimes it like undermines what's going on. Because you could still have it be like a good solid writing while it still is a comedy. Deadpool 1 did that very well. I like Deadpool 2. I'm not saying I don't like it, but I think some of the problems I have with She-Hulk, you could even say for Deadpool 2, where it kind of takes itself as such a joke that like some things don't even like, just don't work from a writing standpoint. I definitely like Deadpool 2 a lot more than She-Hulk, by the way. I'm not saying it's anywhere close to the level of that show, but I'm just saying some of the things I could probably also apply to that. Just how I feel. Yeah, I watched Breaking Bad a long time ago. I watched it when it first came out, actually. Well, not when it first came out. I started watching it when the final season was on, so 2013, I think, 2012, something around there. Example of a remake being better than the original. That's not easy because I could give you so many examples. I think there's so many remakes better than the original. Friday the 13th is one example. It is another example. I would say King Kong is better than the original. The Thing technically is a remake, that one from the 80s. I would say that. Unpopular opinion, but I like, this one's gonna get me attacked by the internet, but I like the Carrie the Carrie remake more than the original. I know I'm terrible for saying that. I know, but I like it more. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Not by a lot. I think they're pretty equal movies, but I don't know. I prefer it for some reason. I could definitely name more. I just don't feel like listing every single one possible. Would you be happy if they brought back Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man? Only if it's for a fun, like, variant cameo and it's like 5 seconds and that's it. Like, I don't want to see him back as like a full character. But even then, I actually would prefer they don't. If they bring back Iron Man, I'd prefer they do it as a different actor. I think Tom Cruise would be the best choice. I think that'd be hilarious. Just, I don't know. It really depends how they do it. I don't know. We'll see. If they do it, it's going to be in Secret Wars. I don't know. Have you seen Sinister? Yeah, I think it's probably one of the scariest movies ever, actually. I thought She-Hulk was a fun romp, nothing more. Yeah. I just, the thing is, like, the nothing more just hits me too much. Like, a show can't just be like, I feel like I need more than that. You know what I mean? And it wasn't even fun to me. So I guess that's the issue here, right? You found it fun, but like I didn't. So it just was kind of hard for me to really, catch on. If you watch my reactions, you can tell I looked dead in those reactions. I was sitting there like, I just did not seem interested. And I had a lot of comments and people being like, why don't you just stop watching it? And I'm like, I just want to finish the season, man. Maybe it's going to have something crazy. I don't know. I was also partially watching it just to see the Daredevil thing, which honestly didn't end up being that cool, if I'm going to be honest. So it was fine, but it wasn't like, I wasn't like freaking out about it. Yeah, Daredevil's phenomenal. You prefer the new Carrie unsubscribed? To be fair, I had a crush on Chloe Grace Moretz when I was younger, so I think that's one of the reasons I enjoyed that movie so much when I first watched it. I'm sorry, I hate to say it. I hate to say it. I hate to say it. Because I did watch Carrie when it first came out. Actually, I didn't see it in theaters. I saw it when I was 14. I was like 14, and I watched it on on demand, like a year after it came out, I think. I'll see you, Matt. Thank you for watching. Yeah, I can tell you weren't feeling it. Yeah, I was not. Sometimes I just laughed by making fun of it, but like, I don't know. It's not for me. Like, I hate complaining too much, so like I try not to like complain too much. I prefer just to say it wasn't for me. It's just easier to say that, but yeah, that's pretty much all I can say. What was your first job? I was a server at a retirement home. It was a restaurant in a retirement home, essentially. So it was basically just like a normal restaurant, but it was in a retirement home, so it was only with elderly. It was a fun job, though. I had it for like 5 years. I started it when I was 15 and only quit when I was 20, only a couple years ago. So I did that for a long time. Yeah, I think everyone had a crush on her when they were younger, to be honest. Which I'm glad I did. You know why? Because that's the only reason I watched Kick-Ass, and then it was one of my favorite movies ever. Because I think Kick-Ass 2 also came out around that same time, and I was like, oh, I gotta watch Kick-Ass 2 now. I gotta watch it. And so then I had to go back and watch the first one, and ended up being one of my favorite movies ever. So I'm very glad to have seen those movies. Castle Black or The Prison? Oh, you're talking about the locations now? I guess The Prison, I don't know. What Game of Thrones prequel would interest you the most? Robert's Rebellion or Aegon's Conquest? Both of those, to be honest. But, I mean, here's the thing. I have no idea if they could do stuff afterwards because I don't know how this show is going to end. So I don't know if there's going to be availability for a sequel because, like, what if everyone dies? Then you can't do one. Or what if the story ends very nicely and there's no reason for it? I don't know. I guess I'll find out. But for prequels, yes, I think Robert's Rebellion would be the coolest thing to possibly see. But also, here's a counterpoint, right? I also think that a Robert's Rebellion video game would also be really cool. I'd prefer as a show, but if they're gonna do a Game of Thrones video game and they want it to be a story-based video game, I think doing Robert's Rebellion will make the most sense. Because you could easily do that without having to worry about like finding right casting that like looks the part for the certain roles. You can just do it animated, make them look as accurate as possible to the characters, have voice actors, and I think that'd be fucking awesome. Imagine if Game of Thrones video game. You'd obviously have to like scale down Westeros so it's not as big as Westeros actually is. But imagine you can just explore Westeros. You can travel from the north down to the south, go east. That fucking amazing game that would be. You probably play as Ned, maybe. I don't know. Maybe even play as fucking Robert. I don't know. That would be so cool, man. Aegon's Conquest would be too cool too. If they do a show, movie, game, whatever, I don't care. I'm down for it. Any more Game of Thrones content, I'm gonna watch it. That's all I'm saying. So definitely looking forward to that. All right. I'm almost caught up here. So once I finally catch up to as much as I can read, I will, you know, I'll probably end the stream. Like I said, I can't answer everything. Like I said, you can always ask questions on random comments too. I can always answer them. So it's not like this is the only place to do it. Are you prepared mentally for Game of Thrones season 8? Well, I watched the first episode and I actually really enjoyed it. So I would say I'm prepared. I would say I'm prepared. Yeah, Westeros. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a big ass country, but they would have to scale it down for the game, unless they did like fast travel. So maybe you just like travel fast. Maybe like you press a button and it just moves you to the other side of the map. I don't know, but that would be very difficult. Oh, someone built Game of Thrones Westeros to scale in Minecraft? How do I see that? How do I play that? I want to do it. Or are you saying you should do it? I don't know if what you meant by it is the bit cities. I don't know if you're saying you built that or you're saying someone else did. I don't know. Did you know there's a Telltale Walking Dead? Oh yeah, those. Oh, yeah. I did know about the Telltale Game of Thrones game. Didn't look into it though because I didn't want any spoilers. I don't know where it takes place. I think someone said it was after season 3, before season 4. Someone said that. I'm not sure if they're right. I'll probably play it one of these days. I don't know. Top 3 Game of Thrones characters: Jon Snow, Tyrion, and Jaime, Daenerys, maybe Cersei, maybe Arya, maybe Sir Davos. I don't know. I could probably name a lot. I know top 2 for sure, Jon and Tyrion, but the other ones kind of just depends on the day. All right, I'm gonna end the stream here. Just a couple announcements. New video tomorrow, Game of Thrones episode 4. New reactions. I'm gonna do the Prestige. I'm gonna upload that reaction within the next week. Hopefully, Oppenheimer review will come out as well. Obviously, Secret Invasion and Dead State this week as well. The Breakfast Club reaction I should do in the next couple of weeks as well for editing. I already watched it, but I have to do the editing, and I'll upload that. I also have Super 8 movie. I watched that. I have to do that editing. There is also Dazed and Confused. I might do that for YouTube. I'm not sure yet, but I already reacted to it. I just have to decide if I'm going to edit it. And yeah, The Punisher, all that stuff. There's also videos on my other channel. If you want to check them out, check out my other stuff. Bunch of links I have, bunch of different social media things. I recommend all of them. I will see you on my next one. Thank you all for watching. Peace out.